Hey guys, welcome to part 3 of my beginner series in Sword of Convallaria Global. In part 1, I covered a little bit about rerolling, and part 2, a little bit about setting up your first party. And I will include links to those in the video description in case you're interested. Part 3 moves on from there, where I cover starting off in the game and where to focus on. Because as you play through the game very quickly, you'll unlock a bunch of different features and events, and it can get pretty confusing if you haven't played through before. So in this video, I'll cover essentially my opinion and thoughts on how to most efficiently use the stamina to advance through the game and unlock all the features, as well as, of course, getting the free resources to build your characters. So first things first, before you get to this part, it is very important to at least put together a team of 4 or 5 characters, preferably 5. But you can start off with a little bit fewer if you haven't yet built your roster, especially because you will get a lot of characters for free in the first week or so of the game. For example, you can unlock Fakel and Ravia. I've unlocked them here. And you also unlock a bunch of non-legendary units: Angel, Tempest, Flame Sorceress, Suppression, Abyss, and of course Crimson Falcon are all free units that you will eventually get as you play through the game. But starting off, obviously, you do need to put roughly a balanced team to take you through content, and it's better to get this off at the start because you obviously need to spend resources to build your team up. And it would be less efficient, if you spend resources on a few units, for example, and later on swap them out for other units. You can still make do with that, but it is obviously more efficient to focus most of your resources on your top 6 units or so that can also form a balanced party. So once you get that out of the way, then the next step is to bring that party and go to the Fool's Journey. Now in the Fool's Journey, what I would recommend is play through the entire prologue at the start. Use all your stamina to clear the prologue, as well as use your stamina to clear chapter 1. Both the prologue and chapter 1 are actually pretty simple as long as you have roughly a decent party. You don't need top tier or anything like that. But as long as the party is balanced and you take the time to learn the mechanics of the battle, especially making use of the barrels and the boulders to your advantage, both the prologue and chapter 1 should be a cakewalk. Now, why do I recommend clearing prologue and chapter 1 of the Fool's Journey? Well, as you do those stages, the game will give you a ton of free resources, and you can use those resources to build your initial party up. So at the start, focus mainly on leveling up your characters as well as increasing their ranks, and that will give you a boost in stats as well as unlock a couple of new skills and abilities for your characters. Eventually, you will also get weapons for the characters, and before moving further, so before going to chapter 2 or before leveling up with the weapons and such, the next step I would recommend is look at the Voyage Memento, which is on the left hand side of your main screen. Now you obviously start off in phase 1, so I'll just go back here. Now, first things first, after completing the first chapter in the Fool's Journey, take a look at the Memento and see what other quests here that you have not yet completed. So for example, you should have done pretty much all the upgrading already because you get all the free resources from the first chapter. But if you haven't done it, so for example, one of the quests here is to upgrade 2 pieces of gear to level 10. So just go ahead and do that. You should be having enough resources to do this. And eventually, you will also unlock the level up, training and rank up trial. This is in the Crossing Worlds section of the game. So I'll just go back to the Crossing Worlds to show you. Now, as you progress through the Fool's Journey, especially in chapter 2 or 3, you will unlock more and more of these different types of special features in the Crossing Worlds. But the first 2 that you will unlock is the level up training and the rank up trial. Now, everything in the Crossing Worlds, except for the Tower of Conquest, but I'll get to that later, everything else does require stamina. And at the start of the game, I wouldn't recommend you to waste your stamina in the crossing worlds. Now, how much of the crossing worlds should you do at the start? My opinion is just do enough to fulfill the Memento requirements. So going back to the Memento, for example, in phase 1, one of it is to clear the level up training and the rank up trial at difficulty level 15. So just do enough to claim the treasure here and clear phase 1. Once you've done this, then you should go on to Fool's Journey chapter 2 and start playing through chapter 2 to unlock more features of the crossing worlds, which then brings you to phase 2 of the Memento treasure. So same thing as well, as you go through the Fool's Journey, you get more and more resources. You should be able to do all these development quests, the quests in green, and this should be more or less done as you progress through, but if not, you can just have a look to see what you need to do to fulfill the requirements. And then again, look at the ones in purple, which is the crossing worlds quests. So for example, in phase 2 here, you do need to do the level 20 level up training rank trial as well as the star trial. So just spend enough stamina in the crossing worlds to clear up the purple quest requirements so that you can complete phase 2 and phase 3 of the Memento treasure. While I am in the Memento treasure, just one quick note about the quests in blue, which is the resource quest. The resource quest is optional, and not a lot of people know this. I myself missed this the first time around. If you look at the description, the rules of the Memento, and you look at the final bullet point, it does say that once you complete all quests in development, all quests in resource category are also completed. The development category is the one in green and the resource category is the one in blue. This means that all the quests in blue are optional. The quests in green and the quests in purple are mandatory. You do need to do those to clear Memento, but once you clear the green ones, all the blue quests will automatically be cleared off as well. So knowing this, it is not that difficult to clear Memento. And why do you want to clear Memento? Well, it's pretty simple, because you get a ton of freebies and you get the Memento treasures as well. Each page gives you a very good treasure. So for example, in phase 2 you get Maita again for free. Phase 3 you get a legendary sword that is actually pretty good for Maita, and then eventually in phase 5 you can also unlock Ravia, and this is how you can get Ravia the Breaker for free. Beyond the purple quests here, all the rest of your time and stamina should be prioritized on the Fool's Journey. So try to push the Fool's Journey as far as possible. I would say that once you complete maybe the first and second pages of the Memento, then you should try to clear off the entire chapter 2. And then after that, between chapter 2 and chapter 3, you might want to take a quick break to quickly level up your characters. And that's because in chapter 3 there is somewhat of a difficulty spike, but only if your characters are underdeveloped. By the end of chapter 2, you should be able to access the talent system, which gives your characters a sizable boost, as well as you should have enough resources to enhance your character's weapons and armor. So you should do so accordingly to get the most stats for your characters before starting chapter 3. If you do that and maximize your resources, chapter 3 should be pretty easy as well. And then again, the same thing, you want to clear chapter 3, because chapter 3 is where you unlock the rest of the features in the crossing worlds. By the end of chapter 3, you should have unlocked everything in the crossing worlds. And as you progress through, you should be able to unlock the Memento all the way to roughly around phase 4 or 5. And that way you should be able to get Ravia. One note, as you complete chapter 1, 2 and 3, some of the stages do feature hard mode as well. And the hard mode you do not need to complete. I would actually say it's better off to leave off the hard mode for now. You can always come back once you're overpowered for the chapter and just autoplay through the hard mode difficulty. Hard mode doesn't actually require stamina, which also means that hard mode doesn't actually give you experience. So unless you really want the challenge early on, it's not worth it to do hard mode once you first access it. Once you hit chapter 4, I would say chapter 4 is no longer a priority to clear as quickly as possible because there's no more new features to unlock in the crossing worlds. The only thing of note is that the 28 treasure chest does give you a legendary weapon, so if you want another legendary weapon, then you can consider clearing up to this far. But if not, once you finish the first 3 chapters, I should say up to the end of chapter 3, then your priorities shift into the Memento journey. So from this point onwards, what you should do is just look at the Memento journey. Again, skip all the ones in blue, you auto clear those, and just focus on the ones in green and the ones in purple. And that way, try to clear as many pages of the Memento journey as possible. Doing this should give you a very strong start in the game. And I think it's probably the best way to approach this because it unlocks the most goodies and resources for you to use to set up your initial party for success in the game. Finally, everything I've covered so far covers about using stamina. Now, if you do have the extra time in the day and you still want to play the game even though you are out of stamina, there are also, of course, the blue potions, and in fact, at the very start of the game, I actually do recommend to use all the blue potions that you can get just so that you can get the stamina to clear off the Fool's Journey, as well as progress as fast as possible on the Memento treasure, so that you get most resources as quickly as possible. Now, assuming you've used up all your stamina and you've used up your potions and you still have time to play during the day, this is where you can also, of course, explore the Spiral of Destinies. The entire Spiral of Destinies do not require stamina, so you can do that at your own time. And the other option is to go into the Crossing Worlds and go into the Tower of Conquest once you've unlocked this. I would recommend to do this because the Tower of Conquest is also stamina free. It just gives you attempts, so you have 3 attempts. Each time you fail a stage, you lose one life, so to speak. But as long as you do not fail a stage, you can go as far as possible in Tower of Conquest. I haven't actually gotten that far yet. I'm only on floor 4 at the moment. But essentially, Tower of Conquest is a way for you to get more free resources without using stamina. And finally, if you still have time after that, then obviously you can also go back to the Fool's Journey and play the hard mode on the stages, because hard mode again does not require stamina. So in summary, my order of priority starting off in the game is obviously getting your party and your initial team together, clearing Prologue and Chapter 1 as quickly as possible using potions if you need to, clearing the purple stages in the Voyage Memento as soon as you have access to them, and you unlock the purple stages as you progress through the Fool's Journey. So if you don't have access to it yet, just do the Fool's Journey and you should get access to the corresponding purple stages in the Memento treasure. Clearing the green and purple Memento treasure so that you can get more free resources, and then clearing up to the end of Chapter 3 in the Fool's Journey. Once you've completed Chapter 3, the priority should then just be looking at the Voyage Memento and clearing whatever that you need to do to unlock the entire page and move on to the next phase. And finally, if you still have time and you're out of stamina, you can do the Spiral of Destiny, you can do the Crossing Worlds Tower of Conquest, or you can do the hard mode difficulty on the Fool's Journey. That's it for this video. I hope it has been helpful, and as always, if you enjoyed the content, do leave a like, comment and subscribe. Till then, I'll see you guys in the next SoC Convallaria video. Bye!